Now, hello
Hi.
everybody, how are you? Welcome to another session on the couch. Today we have the beautiful Emma Pickens from Dan Scott Style in Caloundra. How you going, Emma?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's
Beautiful up here. We've
good.
had a bit of rain, so it's nice.
Oh, beautiful. It's an overcast day here, but that's okay. I've got work to do inside, so it makes it easier to do that. So just to let you all know, Emma's a small business owner and of the beautiful homeware shop called Dan Scott. It just doesn't have homewares though because it has beautiful clothes as well. She works very closely with her daughter Jade. Emma started her business about 8 years ago with a love for interior design and fashion. Emma has a real eye for fashion. Her and I used to work together in the public service, and she just loves this. You know, she's just such an elegant, beautiful soul, and look, this business is so perfect for her.
Oh,
It's grown into a beautiful business, and in
it
her
is.
own words, she says she loves everything about her own business. Now, how lucky is that? That's what you call living your bliss. Emma loves a challenge and she's always looking for new goals and she's reaching them. Emma's one of those ladies that is not afraid to go and put in the effort to get what she does. So she really works hard at what she does. She packed her whole family up and they moved up to Caloundra so she could start her business and really is fulfilling her dreams, which is great. Emma is working towards growing a family legacy, and she certainly is doing that, not a problem at all. So, thank you so much for joining us today, Emma. It really is great to have you on the couch.
You're welcome. I'm excited.
I know! You were telling me you're a bit
Fun.
nervous, but there's nothing to be nervous about because, it's just you and I having a bit of a yarn like we normally do, which is great. So, Emma, can you tell us a bit
Yeah,
about your beautiful beachfront shop?
that's
I
true.
just love going there. I use Emma's Place as my tranquility stop for the end of each year. I can't wait to get there this year, let me assure you. So, the beautiful Dan Scott style, it actually wasn't always called that either, was it, Em? So, can you tell us a bit about the story
No.
behind the name?
So, yep. So I had originally purchased an empty store with a business name, and the business name had been around for probably about 18 years at that stage. So I thought of that as being a good thing. And it was because there was people around Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast that knew the name already. So we ran with that for about 5 years. And then I just sort of thought it was time to make it more personal for me. So Dan Scott comes from Dan is short for Danny, which was my father's nickname, and Scott is short for Scotty, which is my mum's nickname. And yeah, that's sort of how it came about. My mum comes and works with me a couple of
Oh.
times a year.
I'm getting
So
cold
that was a
shivers all
nice.
over me, Em. I'm just getting,
Thank
it's
you.
just so beautiful. That's
But
such a beautiful
my
story.
father, he passed away before I had the store. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you now, I'm getting his energy through right now, and he certainly very much approves of the shop name.
Oh,
It very much resonates with him. I'm filled with goosebumps. It's just really beautiful because, it is. I think that business really does give you, because I know you put your heart and soul into it. I really do. It really is very much a reflection of the sort of person you are. It is a very beautiful, classy, stylish shop. It has such gorgeous stuff, right from babies through to
mm,
adult wear. It also has
yeah.
just everything. I mean, I'll let you give us a bit of an insight as to
Okay.
what inspires you to purchase what you do and set up the store you do, because it's just like walking into a beautiful smelling. I don't know. I just love to be there. The energy's fabulous.
Yeah, the energy is, and that was something that I've always focused on because I want what we have is a lot of ladies that come in, and when you walk in the door, it is, as you say, filled with beautiful fragrance. But I've designed the layout of the store so that one side of the shop is almost set up like there's a dining table, there's a bed. It's a little more homely created. And then the other side of the store has your shelving with product and things like that. But when you first walk in, we've actually had people step inside the door and just go, oh my God, it feels so good in here. So that's what we've always worked toward. The way I buy, I just love beautiful things. And I think I'm very mindful of price points because I want everyone to be able to experience beautiful things in their home, whether they've got lots of money or not much money, in the middle, whatever. We try and cater for all price points so that everyone can have something nice.
And you
And
absolutely
we
do.
work, thank you. Yeah, we've made so many friends in our business. We have so many return customers that, are from Melbourne, Sydney, up north, and we recognize their faces, we know their names. So yeah, we've really built this amazing little community that comes and spends time with us.
Well, it's an absolutely perfect place to go and spend time with you, let me assure you. It's one of, I do a little bit of traveling with my business and I just look forward to my Caloundra trip where I get to come there, get to hang out with you in your beautiful shop. But I also get to buy stuff online, which we'll go into a little bit in a minute. But you really are continually trying to build your shop to make it a space where it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can actually purchase from you online, but you can also enjoy the experience of the Dan Scott style, which is what I love the most. Your flair is amazing. You just know how to decorate. You just know how to put things together and make them look good. I was watching one of your Instagram posts the other day where you were showing people how to style. I just love that. It's so awesome. Um,
Well, it's things
and
like, you know me, I can't cook.
that's right. We all have something that we're good at, don't
And
we?
so, that's right. That's right. I lack in other areas, but that's the kind of thing that I really enjoy doing. And I spent the day in there yesterday merchandising, and I'm going in again after this call to do some more merchandising. So I have a ball when I'm even in that component of the business because there's so many. You've got to have a bit of a business head because there's all the behind the scenes stuff, but you also have to have that creativity for creating the space and making it feel like somewhere that people want to come. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of different components that you sort of work towards, lots of hats that you wear as a small business owner and all of that. It's all good.
So, so tell us a bit about your style, Em. How do I was watching that beautiful Instagram post the other day where you were showing people to put lamps here and the height, and oh my God, I have no idea about that sort of stuff. Give me an oven anytime, or let me talk to the dead anytime. That makes life so much easier for me. Um, but you just do it. Like, how do you do that?
I have always had a love for it, always have. And I did a course in interior design as well. So that sort of gave me some basics, that you sort of need. But a lot of it is it's your own creativity. So really it's pulling together pieces that you love, whether they're new or old. That's actually the best mix, new and old. Not when everything is new, you kind of feel like you're in a display home. So when you're pulling through some of the pieces that you've held on for years, or something that's got a story behind it, that's what creates a special space in a room. So I sort of focus on that kind of thing and showing people the best way to position their items so that it all sits. And when you're standing back looking at it, you can actually get real joy just out of it's a behind the scenes in your brain kind of thing. Something's appealing to you, to the eye, you don't exactly know why, but if pieces are positioned in your home that way, you walk in and you are just like, I'm so happy to be home, this is my space, that kind of thing. So Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I'm just lucky, I guess, that that's the gene I got given.
Well, it's a damn good gene because, as I said, your home reflects you as well. So does your shop. It's just a beautiful space. And how lucky are you looking out onto the ocean every day? Wow. Oh my goodness. Does it get any better than that?
Yeah.
It is so amazing, isn't
I
it?
know, and you know what I was like when, yeah,
I
yeah. Well,
know.
you know what I was like when I was in Canberra. All I
That's
thought about
right.
was
Which
moving to the water.
which
And
takes me to the next
yeah.
question. What were you doing before you created Dan Scott? Because as I know, you just love this
Well,
space always.
yeah, no, I was designing computer systems, which
That's a
is
huge, big
totally
difference, isn't it? Oh, well,
not
maybe not.
me. I
Maybe
could
not.
do it and
Designing,
I could do it
designing.
well, but it wasn't fulfilling. I know, but it's not quite the same. But no, I think I had tried a couple of little, because I had a little bit of time off before I went into the store. So that was a little trial period for me, and none of them hit the mark. So when I decided to go into business, my husband, I'm very practical. So, I think about the financial side as well as anything else. And my husband's like, what else are you going to do? So, all right. And off we went. That was it. I had to learn because I'd never been in business myself before, and I hadn't spent a lot of time working in retail. I'd, worked for the government for such a long time. So yeah, there was a bit of a steep learning curve, but I do enjoy a challenge, and I keep setting them for myself for some crazy reason. So yeah, but that's what makes me move forward.
Well, that's true. And, I've never not seen a challenge put in front of you and you not pick it up and run with it. So this was just going to be a walk. Well, this was going to be easier because this was your dream.
Yeah.
This was something that you'd always wanted to do. And I just love chatting to people, when they are following their dream. But, in all really as well, like people sort of sit there and go, oh, it's all right for her. She's following a dream. But it hasn't always been a bed of roses either. You've had to
Oh
even,
no.
well, Corona in itself is a whole new world. But previous to that, there's always ebbs and flows, isn't there?
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah, we've run a pretty lean show for the last few years, and then coronavirus hit, so we're, doing more adjusting, but that is what business is. I guess you have to have a thick skin, that is for sure. It's not for the faint-hearted. But it is rewarding in so many ways.
Yeah, well, I can see the smile on your face every time we chat. So even in some of the dark days that we've chatted on, you always still go back to the fact that this is what you love and this is why you're doing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's exactly
How are
right. I
you
get to spend
coping?
my days doing things.
Sorry, no, you keep going.
I get to spend my days doing things that I actually get a lot of joy out of, which is, something that not a lot of people can say because they're working for a job. I think it's a real blessing when you are able to follow the dreams, follow what it is you want. And you have to work damn hard to get there. I've never worked so hard, but yeah, I wouldn't change it.
No, well, I've seen your view. I wouldn't be changing it either. It's it's pretty damn special, isn't it? Tell us, Em, how are you
It is
coping with the
special,
strat?
very special. Yeah.
Sorry, what was that? I just missed that. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're right. No, you keep going.
We've got a bit of a lag. I think that's technology. You just have to suck it up, don't you?
Yeah.
Em, can you tell us a bit about some of your coping strategies that you've been using during this COVID-19 in regard to your business? Because, we do have, plenty of small business owners out there and everybody's trying to cope. As much as the world is all going through this at the same time, we're all still in very different places. Everybody has very different situations that they're in. Are you able to share with us some of the things that you're personally doing that is allowing you to get through this time?
Um, yep, sure. I am lucky in the fact that I can go for a walk along the water each morning. And that is something that we try and do each day. It's a real, it really does settle you in for the day, gives you the good vibes coming in. And if you go out there with a negative head, you certainly don't come back with one. So
Yeah.
it's about, I guess for me, it reminds me of how grateful I am to be where I am. So yeah, that's one of the things I always do. I'm also lucky enough to work with my daughter. So I've got someone that I can bounce ideas off, because often when you're in business, it's a solo job. And with her input, it makes life a lot easier. And I have a very supportive husband. So that's great. And we just rolled with it. So we made a decision early on in the piece not to close our doors, but just to really limit how long we were open. And so we are only open 3 hours a day at this point in time.
Okay.
And that way we've got a bit more control over, keeping it clean and all that sort of stuff that we need to sort of adhere to at the moment. And it also, we've felt the love because our amazing customers have been coming in within that time frame and shopping with us, and they've actually been buying things that we know they don't really need. They're actually coming in and supporting us as a family run business. So when this is over, we are going to have a really good VIP night to thank everybody. So yeah, but
That's
I
awesome.
guess I've just stayed positive.
I love the fact that you said we discussed this early in the piece and made a decision. I think that's
Yep.
been key for many people, hasn't it? When we first
Yeah.
heard that, the country was sort of going to come to a slowdown, and especially you up in Queensland, because you're up in Queensland where they've shut borders and everything. So I
Yeah.
guess that was key, and I guess I did something similar as well. I haven't tried to write it out, I just made changes straight up. And that's probably been what has been your saviour, really, hasn't it? Oh, and of course, all your fabulous customers
Yeah.
that keep coming in and supporting you during
Yes.
that time. But you're lucky enough also to have online as well. So tell us a bit about your online shop.
Yes. So we're online, and probably only 2 months ago we added fashion to our online store. So that's been wonderful. And
I know, I
now we're
bought this
going
beautiful
through a
top.
stage. Now we're going through a stage where we are trying to expand even further our online side of things. So we're just working with some great companies at the moment, doing a lot of behind the scenes work, just so that we can have more of an offering there, because that's where our customers are being directed at the moment, mainly, stay at home. So they're sort of shopping more online. So yeah, we want to be able to offer as much as possible as well. And because Calandra's not a big place, so we also offer free delivery, in our Caloundra area. So anyone that does shop online with us that lives locally, we deliver it straight to them without
Wow.
any charge, so that they don't have to come out if they don't want to. Which, we've had a lot of customers take us up on that as well, which is great.
That's awesome, isn't it? You've frozen on me, but that's okay. I'm sure you'll come back. The joy. Oh, there you are. There you are. Technology,
Great.
don't you love it?
I hope you could hear me.
I know. The joy is, though, imagine if we didn't have technology. I try not to bag it out too much because I think, well, without it, we'd be stuck at home and we wouldn't have this connection. Whereas we are able to connect with each other. I mean, that's a miracle in itself, I think.
It is.
It
For
really
sure.
is. So that's amazing, Em, that you are getting people. I love your local delivery service. Look at you; you're constantly always being innovative, and I think that's probably key as well, isn't it? Keeping yourself innovative
It
and
is.
what else can you do, to change things. So tell us a bit about what stock do you actually keep in the shop?
Yeah.
I know clothes because I've bought some beautiful linen. Like you have an amazing range of linen, and linen for me is
Yeah.
my favourite piece of item. So I love finding shops that have linen. So I usually, I have bought some beautiful pieces from
Yeah.
you. And obviously the top I have on now, which I keep spruiking,
You have.
which arrived in the most beautiful package. I was so excited when I received it. It was like I just bought it in the shop. It was awesome. It was so, and they're just simple little things
Yeah.
that allow the person on the other end to go, wow, that is the whole experience. And you really are good at that. You really are able
That
to,
is the whole experience.
you're very good at giving that whole experience, Em. But yeah, tell us a bit about so for people out there that want to know what you have in your shop, because they want to, at the end we'll give you the opportunity to tell us how they can get in contact with you. What do you sell in case they want to check you
Yeah.
out?
So we've got a bit of everything. We sell kitchen, we sell bathroom, we're homewares, there's little things for the kids. There's a few little bits and pieces for the men. We're looking at growing that side of it as well. And ladies' clothing, jewelry, accessories. So it's like a little mini department store.
And I guess when we talk about the department store, you've had, in your very younger days, you had lots of very good experience with JB Young. Was it JB Young or Meyer or something, whatever it was? So
No,
you,
yeah, Grace Brothers.
that's right. So you've had your passion for, working with that sort of stuff forever. It really does show.
Yeah.
But so when you talk about, what's your favourite thing in the shop right now?
Oh, I would take anything in my shop. I would bring it all home. I don't, I just purchase things that are beautiful and that I love, and they're classic, timeless. They work, they're very, what's the word? They're pieces that you can have in your home for forever.
Times.
And they really suit like our coastal lifestyle as well, which is really relaxed but refined. So yeah, seriously, I would take anything home, and I have got a fair few things, you might say.
Good. Well, I mean, has to be, you have to have some bonuses, don't you? Tell us a bit about,
Yeah,
I
that's the
know when I was,
perks.
yeah, that's exactly right. When I was up there, what really inspired me was you use a lot of local designers. You purchase a lot of your wares from like jewelry. There was beautiful leather bags. I just love the leather bags. There's so much that you actually do local, which I really love.
Yeah, we always try and use Australian designers. It's so important to support the creatives that are right here, in Australia, whether they're on the Sunshine Coast or anywhere else. And that was another one of the reasons that we continued to trade for our shorter hours. Is it's not just our business that we've got to look after, but we've
Oh, we've
know
frozen. Yep, you're back.
it's kind of a roll-on effect. If we go down, then someone else could go down, and that just keeps on flowing. So I think when you're in business, it's really important to think of everyone that you're dealing with and how, because it's also affecting them. It's not just affecting us; it's affecting everybody. So yeah, it's definitely a big communal support group, I guess you might say.
Which, that's fabulous, isn't it? That is really, really, really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's that M is just, it makes things so much easier as well when you, I think community is so important, and I think we're probably seeing that more than anything right now with COVID-19. We're actually seeing, which is obviously the idea of this show as well, keeping us connected. And this segment of being on the couch, it's about profiling businesses like yourself that
Yeah.
may not normally have that kind of exposure. I wouldn't say I have massive amounts of followers, but I just want to share that with everybody out there. If you're home, what a great way to connect each other and just keeping that community
Yeah.
online as well. Because how many people, like I've got lots of clients in Darwin and I can see some of my people on now. Hello, Sandy. And she's in Darwin. I mean, we're bringing those communities together. You're in Caloundra, Queensland. She's in Darwin.
Together.
We've got
Mm.
there's people on here from all around Australia on, and it's great to see that you can talk about your stuff and they can actually get on later and check it out. And who knows? It really is about bringing those
That's
communities
right.
together. And so it does really
Yeah,
span broader than that local community, which is excellent, even though that's who you
it
rely
does.
on. But
Yeah.
as we know, you have to, and that very much so, given that you've had to take your store online. It's about looking at it and expanding it much further than just that local community. Even though you can still look after them and make them VIPs, but how then do you take it
Yeah.
further again?
Yeah. Well, in this day and age with online shopping, you really it's different to back in the day when a store was in a community, and most of the time there was only one of that kind of store, and that's so everybody shopped there. But there's so many options now for people. They've just got everything at their fingertips. So you really have to diversify and try and, yeah, be in front of people in as many ways as you possibly can so that you can actually be seen.
Yeah, well, that's so true, and you and I chat frequently, so I do know that you're always looking at different things all the time. To it's about
Yeah.
bringing those people in the door or over the phone, which is great. And look, I guess that's probably key for
Yeah.
COVID-19, isn't it? How can you stand out? How can you want people
Yeah.
come to you?
Yeah.
Because they can't, like, I can't see your beautiful shop that you're in, but I can certainly see the beautiful wares that you have
No.
online, which is great. And when they follow you on Instagram and
And
Facebook,
I guess that's why.
I'll let
You want
you
me to
go
go?
because I know that we've got a bit of a lag here.
That
So,
is why okay. That is why when somebody does shop online with us, because they can't actually experience the smell or the touch or anything like that, we try and send a little bit of Dan Scott home with them with the beautiful gift wrapping. And we have a lovely little thank you card that we always handwrite a little message to them so that they feel special. We want everyone to feel special with something that they've purchased from our store. So it's those little extra touches that we find are important, and they're really not that much more effort to do. So, but they can make the world of difference to someone. I mean, you imagine getting your parcel in the post and it's all gift wrapped. It's like, oh,
I
a present for
did.
me.
Well, it felt like it was my
Yeah,
birthday. I was so excited. I opened my
yeah,
everyday
yeah.
package, and then it was another layer. It was this beautiful gift wrap. It really felt it. You did. You actually made me feel really special, and I felt like it was my birthday. I just, I know I'd bought that, but we all talk about spoiling ourselves. Well, I'll tell you what, that was a way of doing. That is some really good self care, people. Buy something from Dan Scott Style, and I can assure you, you'll feel like that little bit of self care and love really comes because it was just. I think I even videoed it back in those when I got this top, and it was so exciting. Just it
Yeah.
was so beautiful. It was because we don't get that much anymore. It's just a brown paper box, and inside is your goods. Whereas this was really special. It really was. So I must say thank you very much, Emma, for that. It really
All
did make
right.
my day.
Helping our mental health. That's it.
It absolutely is. I can't believe that, that it did.
Mm,
How it made me feel was really amazing. So thank you.
good.
Can you tell us a bit? I know you talked about your day. You talked about how you some strategies you're using to get through COVID-19. But tell us a bit about your day in the normal Dan Scott style way. So how does, how does your day go when you're normally working in a normal non-COVID-19, or who knows, maybe this is going to be the normal. We hope not, but we don't know, do we?
No, we don't. So, well, gosh, normally I would be in store probably 4 days a week because we are open 7.
Wow.
So, and my daughter, she has a second job as well. So we sort of, my days change every day. Nothing's set in stone. We sort of work around different rosters. So that's sort of a juggle for us every week. But
You've
customers, there's also windows to wash, there's zero files to reconcile. I just do up a little default diary for the week and I block it out into sections so that I know that I can achieve everything that's got to be done in the week. I just have to set a certain time period for it because otherwise life gets in the way and you get busy.
So you really have to stay organised, don't you?
Using a business coach, which is yeah, yeah, most definitely. Generally, I have 1 day off a week, and that varies. So it's nice when it's a weekend because I get to spend time with my husband. But otherwise, during this COVID-19, like this morning, I had an 8 a.m. call, a little bit of a buddy session with some business coaching I'm doing. And then I have my 10 a.m. with you. And then I'm heading into the store to finish off some merchandising. And then Jayde and I are heading to Brisbane down to one of our agencies that represents a lot of brands. So we're going to be looking at product for online. So that'll be today. But I have to go to Brisbane once, twice a month for different buying. So that sort of always falls in there as well. But just I keep myself entertained, busy.
Yeah, that's
I got to practice
it.
a little bit of French in there.
Yes, because yes. So on that, Emma, tell us a little bit about your passions other than Dan Scott style.
Anything French. I can't cook the food, but I'll definitely eat it. And this year I turned 50 and the goal was to actually go to France for my 50th birthday. So obviously that didn't happen. But that's a, future thing now. Hopefully next year we'll see how things go. But I'm practicing myself each day to learn French. The old memory does not hold things very well. So I have to keep on keeping on, but I just keep on doing it every day. I practice a bit, might be half an hour, might be an hour some days. But yeah, it's a goal. I want to have a home over there at some stage for 12 months. I want to live
Keeping
there.
the dream alive, Em, aren't you? You very much are. I know that you love you, and I must admit I do love Europe as well. So it's got some pretty amazing
Yeah,
places. I don't know that either of us will
yeah.
be going back there for a little while though.
No, no. We'll have to see.
I have a big question for you. And I'm sure some of our viewers are thinking this too. Now, you run your beautiful Dan Scott style shop with your daughter, as you've mentioned a number of times. How does that work? How many people would not be able to do that? So,
I
what are
know.
your tips for working with your family member and, in particular, your daughter?
Okay. My daughter is a beautiful soul. I'm not just saying that as a mother as well. I mean, she is, but we constantly have customers and they're telling me all the time just what a beautiful soul she is. So, and when Jayde and I are actually in store together, it it just rolls. It works well. Um, we always have a really good fun, whether we've got customers in there that we're chatting with or whether we're merchandising, it doesn't matter. Um, she's a keen learner, which is really, really good. And with all the online side of things, being younger, she actually picks it up really, really quick. And I can sort of, push a few of those things that I don't want to do back her way. And she's happy to take them on board. there's certainly days where, you have to remind your family that they're at work. Because when you work in a place like Dan Scott, where you're surrounded by beautiful things, there's a bed there, there's the ocean to look at. Some days you can just find yourself looking out there, just you stopped and you're just admiring what's going on out there. So, there is that thing where you sort of have to remind yourself, okay, we are at work. We have got to get stuck into things. And, it's the same for everyone, really. It'll kick
Yeah,
up the
no,
bum every now and then, doesn't it?
it is great, and I really do admire the fact that you both work together so well like that. It really is, because
Yeah.
not everybody could do that. You're not only mother and daughter running your own business.
No.
You really are friends. You are best
Yeah.
friends, which is really beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you
Yeah.
do bounce off each other. You actually respect the fact that she's, so often you'll see when there's a mother daughter business like that, the mother wants to take control, but you really invite and involve Jayde in everything you do. And so when you, as you were saying, that you're doing life coaching, business coaching rather, and how important is that? Tell us a bit about that. Like, has that actually helped the both of you come together more and be able to work better side by side?
Yeah, it really has. And interesting you say about the control thing, because I am a control freak and Jayde does have to pull me up on it sometimes. Um, and I have to really think about, okay, take a step back. She's running with this. So we've sort of found a happy medium where it may be, say we're writing a newsletter, Jayde will start, she'll come up with content, I'll just give her suggestions or whatever. And then I'll do the final check, the final run through before it gets sent out. But it's kind of like you do have to let go and let them bring their ideas to the table as well. And their, not just their ideas, but their opinion, I guess, is the word. So having Jayde being part of the business coaching, that was huge. We were so lucky that we could do that. And for her, it meant that she was more than just someone standing in the store. She could see behind the scenes. She could see why a decision gets made and the impact that it can have. She can see the procedures that need to be taken, like things like a default diary. It's a simple little thing, but she could then understand why it's important to have those time slots blocked out. So yeah, I am so grateful that she was on that with me, because it's been huge for her growth and mine and for the business. So I can see so much potential for her.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I'm the one that's being able to offer it to her and, watch her grow, because what we've seen with Jayde over the last few years, because she's only 22. So you sort of got to remember that they're still quite young and still, experiencing different life situations. So yeah, I'm very, very lucky. That's all I can say. I love working with her and I love having her work with me. So yes.
I guess the important part of that, Em, was about the fact that you didn't take control and ownership, even though you say you like to control, but you actually have brought her on the journey.
Yeah.
And so you've actually given her a sense of owning as well. So she now has that sense of
Yeah.
ownership, not just I'm working in mum's shop. She has that sense of
Yeah.
it's important for me to, as you say, you have certain things you need to achieve, and doing that, it's important, and she plays a major role in that because you're both in that together, that's really important. So tell me, how important is it to have a business coach? Excuse me.
Oh, super important, super important. We have just learned, I guess the thing is, you don't know what you don't know. And until someone tells you, you know, you're not going to come across it. So we have just found, I was in business for 7 years before I got a business coach, and I wish I'd done it in my year one. I'm kicking myself that I didn't. So we've just found that the benefits that it's made, the learnings that we've had, the accountability that you have to do things by certain time frames. When you say, okay, this is what I want to achieve, you then have to work out how you're going to achieve it. So the accountability side of things is huge as well. And I mean, let's face it, if we're just telling ourselves that we're got to, do something, it's like, oh, I'll do it next week. But when someone else is waiting for that information or is going to call you on it, you're like, oh my God, I got to get that done. So yeah, no, it's the best thing that we've done since being in business is get a business coach. And we're going to take a little break from it for the next 12 months, just because COVID-19's thrown a bit of a spanner in the works, but we will be definitely keen to pick back up with it again when we're, able. So, yeah.
So, what would you say to
Recommend it.
somebody, a small business owner out there that would think, oh, I don't need a business coach. I can't afford that.
Well, normally when you get a business coach, it's because you can't afford it. That's sort of like when you start looking for one, is when you are at the end of it and you're like, oh my God, I just don't know what to do to improve this. I've tried everything, nothing's worked. Um, you just have to do it. You just have to bite the bullet and you just have to do it. I would highly recommend it. Sometimes different situations can creep up, like COVID-19, which was unexpected. But I guess, see, we're planning now for how we can recommence it. So, and it's only
Yeah,
because we're
okay.
coming to the end of our 12 months. It's a 12-month thing that we took on, that we will take the short break, but we'll be putting aside so that we can actually dive straight back into it again as soon as possible. But yeah, look, what you learn is priceless. It
Oh,
really is
that's
worth it.
wonderful. That's
Yeah,
really key information for anyone out there
yeah,
starting a business or already in a
yeah.
business for a while.
And I think it's important to meet with them, because you really have to gel with a business coach. I did have one before, but I didn't quite get out of that what I have just recently. So yeah, you sort of need to meet them. There has to be someone that you gel with as well. So yeah,
That
that's
was going to be my
important.
next question. How do you pick a business coach?
Yeah, well, I simply Googled it and I was looking for someone who I knew had good reviews and things like that. And I found Entrepreneurial Business School, which is up here on the Sunshine Coast, and they have been fabulous. And they're
Okay.
Australia wide. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's good
they
to know,
they
isn't
have
it?
they actually yeah, they actually have people coming from New Zealand, and yeah, like there's lots lots of people.
And local's good as well. That makes it nicer, doesn't it?
Yes. Well, it makes it a bit easier for the travel side of things. So,
It
yeah.
absolutely does. Where do you go and do that at?
Hmm. Well, it
Do you do
varies
that
in
by?
different locations. So,
Okay.
yeah, there's been some here in Caloundra. There's been some up Maroochydore sort of way. There's sort of, yeah, up around near Nooserish, and yeah, so
So
it's
you
all
get to
right. It's
travel
like
as
a
well, which
little
is
2 day
nice.
getaway.
Yeah, how good is that?
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
bonus from that as
Yeah, it's
well.
great. Yeah. It actually gives you one-on-one time too with whoever you do it with, or and I guess the inspiration that you receive, because when you
Yeah.
go into these that they do 2 day full-on event sort of thing, and when you go into those sort of things, this room is just full of business people, and the ideas that you get from them, that inspiration that you get from them, it's just not something you get in your day-to-day activity, because it's not often that such large amounts of business people are all in one room,
Yeah.
and where you're actually talking openly about your business. So you actually learn a lot of in-depth stuff about other businesses, which we all, it's all private, so we keep it to ourselves, but it's such a great way for you to think, okay, oh my gosh, that worked for them, maybe I can try something similar, but tailor it to whatever my business is.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. So that's really good insight into someone that has maybe been considering it, or maybe if you haven't been considering
Yeah,
it, that's a
yeah,
certainly a very good tip, Em, for people to take that on board. Because if you want to continually
yeah,
move your business forward, I think is the big thing, isn't it? And keep living your bliss. Make
yeah,
sure that you keep having that bliss in your life and doing what you want, because there's nothing worse
yeah,
than shutting a shop down,
yeah,
especially during this time. My heart goes out to all those people that are in that position where they may have to. So that's a
yeah,
really tough time.
yeah.
How can you actually share with us, for our audience out there? Can you give us three of your top tips, and I don't mind if it's four, that you would encourage them to take on board if for getting through COVID-19, both from a business or personal perspective? I really don't mind.
Okay. Well, for me, it's walking each day. I think you need an hour of outside time, whether it be gardening, walking, running, whatever it is that you need to do. It's just something that releases the stress out of the head. That's important. Um, I also think there is a saying to never waste a good crisis. So rather than binging on Netflix, now is actually a really good time to get stuck into whatever it is you haven't been able to achieve, of late, or because of time constraints. Because honestly, I feel like I finally got work-life balance, with the shop only being open 3 hours, but it gives
Yep.
me all the time to, teach Jayde more, to, go through with these other ideas that we've wanted to do for such a long time. So yeah, we're not wasting that time, that's for sure. And I always make sure I do something that I love. So for me, it's my French. For someone else, it could be cooking a beautiful meal for the family for that night, that sort of thing. What
What about
else?
from a business
I wish I
perspective,
could
Em?
say I was a keep working, you know, just keep working. You've got to keep your brain stimulated. I think, in a time like this is when, because you're not stuck with the day-to-day grind with all your time taking up, this actually presents the opportunities for your mind to be able to expand and think broader, think about, what's next, because you've got a little bit more downtime. So yeah, I would just keep on working and get those
Uh,
ideas flowing and document them, and then work out how you can achieve them.
I totally agree with that. I'm actually using this time to get all my services online, which I had been wanting to do for 2 years. And now I'm partway through
Yeah,
that. And just setting yourself those little goals, isn't it? Each day, and making sure that, okay, today
yeah.
I do have a bit of time to myself, which I normally wouldn't. I'm actually going to do this or that. I think that's probably key, isn't it? That's one of the key
I
bits
think,
of
and
things.
there's something else, and I don't do it every day, but it is very important. And, I try to do it as often as possible, but it's having your affirmations. So I have found that by telling myself these positive things, that helps the headspace as well. So,
Absolutely.
affirmations is a good thing for me.
Well,
Mm,
and that's for me as well. Meditation and affirmation. I could not survive each day without it. I mean, I'm doing affirmations
yeah, yeah.
24/7. As people that watch me know, my everything always works out well for me. Everything always works out well. Everything always works out well, and it really does when you actually put yourself in that mindset. Everything actually does work out well.
Everything
So tell
always
us
did
it.
for you. Yeah,
Sorry,
for as long as I can remember. I
I know
said
it.
everything always did for you. You've always had that mindset for as long as I can remember.
It is, but that's what you've got to live by. I mean, you have a choice. I say to people all the time,
Yeah,
you can live in the heavy or you can live in the light. And I know where's much easier for me. The
yeah.
heavy's way too much of a burden. Besides, it means I might have to, um, I need to laugh out loud all the time. So for me, I need to be living in that light and stay in that happier space. And that's
Yeah.
just who I am. As we said, we all have different things. I'm just before I just want you to tell us, how can people connect with you if they want to check out your beautiful wares?
Well, we're on social media, so on Instagram and Facebook. You've just got to look up Dan Scott Style. And then we have our website as well, which is also, it's www dot whatever danscottstyle.com. So yeah, as long as you've got Dan Scott Style, you'll find us.
Excellent, excellent. And so, just to finish up, Em, tell us. I've just had a blank. It's just gone. We've got that. Tell us what are you planning for the rest of this time through COVID-19 to get you through this?
I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Nothing special, just keeping on achieving what I've got written down for me to achieve, really. Just going through my list.
That is awesome.
Something I've always done. Just keep on
No,
going. Yeah.
and how do you find a list? Like, obviously, that's how you work well, is it? Is by
Oh
lists.
yeah, yeah. I write lists every single day. I do need to put them all in one place. That would be way better because at the moment I think of it and I'm like, oh, pen and paper, and I just write it wherever. So I've got notes in my phone, and, I've got it everywhere. But I have to work from lists, otherwise I will forget. But yeah, I love crossing them off. So as soon as it's done, I'm like, done, awesome.
Ah,
I feel
it's
like I've
such a good
achieved
feeling.
something.
It is. And I'll just
It's a
quickly
great
run through.
feeling.
We've
Yeah.
had quite a few, a few ladies watching you, so and some people that you will recognise as well. Joe Hogan says, looking good, Emma Pickens. Toby and Clark says, hello, lovelies. Angela Stewart's on. We've got Amy Pug. We've got Joe Ryan. Sandy says hi from Darwin. And Kathleen Vidovic, remember Kath?
Oh, yeah.
She says, yeah, she goes, hey, you two hotties. Lacey's on. We've got Emma says, Kathleen says, Emma, your shop is amazing. So that we absolutely know is true. It is a very beautiful shop. So, we can't, there's so many that people can
Thanks.
actually confirm that. It is a beautiful place. And we have Carmel that's popped in to watch us. So it's been a really wonderful time here chatting with you. So thank you so much. Next time we get you on, maybe, we
Thank
can have you in the
you.
shop and you can walk us around the shop and show us how beautiful your shop is for real.
All right. There is some videos on my Instagram that gives a little bit of an idea of what it sort of looks
Yeah,
like.
it
You just have to
is.
scroll back a little bit.
And
But
it changes all the time,
yeah,
which is,
there's
I
some cool
really love the
videos
fact
on
that
there.
you're always in there changing it around.
Yes. Fun.
Well, thank you for another great session on the couch. I'm really grateful that you joined us here today. Thank you for
Thank
your
you for
time.
having me.
I know it was great.
Thank you.
So, everybody, thank you
Excellent.
very much. Have a truly wonderful day. We look forward to seeing you back. Tomorrow, we have beautiful Annie from Bangkok in Thailand. So, that's going to be wonderful as well.
Oh.
So, everybody, take care, have fun, be kind.